Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/AskReddit. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. What's a bad thing everyone should experience once? Nsfw. The moment of panic and the lingering feeling in the pit of your stomach when you're driving and narrowly avoid what could have been a disaster. Not even necessarily your fault, things like braking for a deer, or a car not seeing you in their blind spot and changing lanes into you, and you have to hit the horn. Something that reminds you that no matter how much time we spend driving, and how easy it usually is, vehicles are fucking dangerous, and you don't want to get careless. Something that reminds you why driving deserves your full attention the entire time. Want to experience this daily? Come to Florida. Aquaplaning is one of the worst situations for that feeling. Being broke. You appreciate what little you have and what it's like to earn hard-earned money. Probably helps you to be empathetic towards other people that are broke and not just resort to telling them to stop being lazy. I think it's important to get used or ripped off once by a supposed friend. My son, when a teen, would believe anyone. Any story. Any hard luck tale. Then came the day a friend sold him fishing poles for way too much money, and he dropped them off. They didn't have any reels on them. My son was so hurt and pissed. I felt bad for him, but he never forgot that lesson. Be careful who you call a friend. Being sick and having someone take care of you teaches you how to take care of others when they're down and the efforts and sacrifices you make. Smiley face. Also, being sick away from home, i.e., no one to take care of you. Once you have laid in a bed sick as a dog all alone, you appreciate everyone who is there for you. I think it might be even more enlightening the other way around. Too many people think that helping others, even a friend or loved one, is nothing but a chore. Actually doing it would teach them that there are few things more satisfying. Being humiliated for being an asshole. Some people need this to happen more than once. Agreed, that moment of self-awareness when you realize no, you're not being funny, or the other person isn't in the wrong, but you are being an asshole, that's humbling. You learn to be a better person from the experience. Heartbreak/being broken up with. It's awful, but I think an important growing experience. Butters said it best. The only way I could feel this sad now is if I felt something really good before. So I have to take the bad with the good. Not heartbroken, but currently a bit down. I was recently seeing a girl from work, and he just broke it off with me, telling me she wasn't ready for a relationship. That's not the bad part. It's the fact she's fucked most of the guys in work. Even the gay dude. I had been planning something nice to do for her birthday for a while, and then this all comes out. Sucks, man. Hard labor and working in customer service. Done both woo off to a good start. More specifically, I think all politicians should have worked in a customer-facing role. So they know what it's like to work for near minimum wage while dealing with people blaming you for HQ's decisions. Especially here in the UK. I'd love to see how MPs manage on 0-hour contracts. Working in retail and/or food service. Working those jobs really changes your perspective on what is an appropriate way to behave in those environments and shows you that many people have no idea how to behave appropriately in them. Being in a bad relationship. You quickly learn what you don't want in a partner. If it were quickly, then /or/ relationships would be pretty empty. Sigh. I recently divorced and occasionally get shit for this. I'm in my early 30s, so I have dated people who have not had a long-term relationship. Some of those people see me as picky, but it's really hard to explain that knowledge of what you can live with and what you can't in a partner. Some of them say, well, people can change. As if I should enter a relationship hoping someone will change for me? That's idiotic, and I spent the last few years of my marriage hoping for him to change. It's nice in movies, but not in real life. Running through fields of wheat. So naughty. Thatcher in the Rye. Having a terrible roommate/flatmate. It really makes you appreciate future living situations, especially with a so. That's damn near something I wouldn't wish on anyone. I've lived with all three, meaning bad roommate, S/O, S/O who was also a bad roommate. That last one is far and away the worst. it will inevitably lead to a breakup. Everyone should experience firsthand how money can destroy close relationships, and how quickly it can happen. I was dating a girl who had a lifelong friend with bad credit. Like really bad. She wanted to buy a new car, but couldn't get approved for a loan and asked my friend to co-sign. Then it turned out her credit was so bad, she couldn't even use a co-signer. They wouldn't issue the loan unless with her name anywhere on it. So she had the idea, could you buy the car/get the loan, and I'll just make the monthly payments until it's paid off. I told her do not do this. There is a reason she has bad credit. Well, she didn't listen and bought the car for her friend. Her friend made exactly one payment to her, and the next month nothing. She started ditching phone calls, and then we find out she moved out of her apartment. Suddenly this girl's family, who my friend has known for like 15 years, is pretending they don't know where she lives, and has no way of getting in contact with her. A couple more weeks and an envelope with half a car payment, 3 weeks late at this point, shows up stuck under my girlfriend's doormat. Next payment comes due, and nothing. So now my girlfriend is making the payments every month on a car she hasn't seen in months. Her friend who promised to make payments is a payment and a half behind, and it's only been 3 months. The one thing she had listened to me about was she kept a key to the car, so we had the idea we'd find the car and take it, since it was legally and morally her car anyway. So we spent I don't even know how many weeks every night driving around for hours, hitting this chick's hangout spots, friends' houses, family houses, etc., until one night we find the car parked in front of her father's condo. My girlfriend jumped in, took the car, and drove it to another friend's house who was going to let her put it in his garage for a while until things cooled off. We weren't 2 minutes gone before bad credit chick is blowing up her pager. Yeah, it was that long ago, having suddenly remembered her number. Anyway, long story short, this was a lifelong friendship, and this chick barely even hesitated at the chance to steal a fucking car from someone who was trying to help her. Watching someone die. When I watched my grandmother die, I looked at my dad holding her hand. At first I thought to myself, I'm going to do the same thing too. Then I thought, someone is going to watch me die too. It was at that moment that death no longer scared me. Dying peacefully in a hospital bed doesn't scare me. Dying hanging upside down in a tree with my intestines hanging in my face, bleeding out fully conscious, and aware of my fate scares the ever-loving fuck out of me. Minor car accident, so that you understand even if nobody is hurt how quickly it happens, how hard the cars jolt on collision, and how much hassle it is to get through the insurance etc. It's happened where 2 drivers have driven into me in the past. I drive with real caution for months afterwards, and am extremely attentive to the road as a result. Well officer, a guy on Reddit told me that getting into a car accident would be a good experience for me, so I rammed your car at the stop sign. For many men, a finger in the ass. But for good reason. Get your prostates checked. I'll make sure to tell my GF that it's for medical reasons. The first time I had that done the doctor finished, so I looked back at him and said, stick another finger in there, doc. I need a second opinion. A relationship with a superficial/pretentious person makes you appreciate humble people even more. My first girlfriend was so standoffish, unaffectionate, and just plain rude. We were together a year before we just stopped talking to each other. At the time I thought that was just what a relationship was, until I met my second girlfriend who was so incredibly charming, warm, and affectionate. I didn't consider the first relationship as a waste of a year, because it made me appreciate my second so much more. Sit down, be humble. Right before you both get off, take a really deep breath. The extra oxygen goes straight to your brain, and makes your orgasm about 2x more intense. Both. Does it work by myself? Cheers for the tip. How is this a bad thing though? Failing at something. Because after that you'll grow and be able to 1. Achieve more too. Use it as motivation. 3. Know that failing is okay. Deleted. Take public transportation. I know a shit ton of people who've never taken it. I personally find it kind of soothing, except when I am taking the bus home from work in the morning, i.e. right now. If I could drive I'd be at home, and in my bed. Coming from major cities with great public transport, this is so weird to me. I couldn't imagine getting around by car. I love public transportation. Once you acknowledge you're just gonna have to leave 20 minutes earlier for things, every other part is nice. You don't have to drive, I'm not a fan, you're free to just chill and listen to music, and buses are really safe compared to cars. Near-death experience, you never really appreciate the finite nature of your own life until you've breathed what you believe to be your last breath. Then to have the brain go into panic mode, images flashing, and a strong inbuilt survival mechanism kicking in, forcing every part of yourself to fight for life to then have it all go black. You wake up exhilarated, like nothing I've ever felt since or before, the air on your skin that you've never realized before, the feeling of air filling your lungs as you breathe, the smells and tastes are all amplified. It lasted for at least a year, the urge to savor every little thing in life, and see all the previous annoyances as petty and meaningless in the grand scheme of things. It also puts into perspective the sheer terror of death, and I believe it gave me a greater level of sympathy for those that are not as lucky. I think everyone would be a lot less violent and warmongering if they had felt the emptiness of death. Being at the mercy of someone else after you've done something to deserve getting your arse hooped. I'm not saying everyone should experience getting bashed, but I think there are a lot of people out there with attitude problems that have never experienced the consequences of their actions. A little fear can be enough to make people think twice before being dickheads to others. Again, I am not advocating violence, but the stomach plunging into your feet because you know you done fucked up by being a tool to someone that isn't having your shit. That I think is a valuable lesson in how not to behave as a human being. Yep. Kept me from relapsing completely after my then so found me about to shoot up and pretty much beat some sense into me. Can still remember the entire ordeal vividly. Live on a service job / minimum wage for a year. No parents as a safety net, no rich friends you live with, no big savings account you can dig into if you really need it, nada. None of that haha yeah I totally know what it's like. My lawyer parents made me wash cars and teach yoga for a while to get real world experience, smiley face. No, you need to feel a real, present threat of being homeless. Nothing but a shitty job at Popeyes between you and the streets. Know what it's like to run down to the plasma center and sell your blood for gas money. Have to make up excuses to not go out with friends tonight, because your paycheck got lost again. Put up with your friends' snide comments when you only eat half your 10 pizza and box the rest for home, because you'd like to have lunch tomorrow. Know what it's like to have your employment put at risk by some snot-nosed rich teenage customer who decides your service wasn't fast enough. Indifference from complete strangers when you are in a time of need. It seems oddly specific, but can really be translated in many settings, from being stranded and trying to hitchhike home to begging for money for your next meal. Given some time, you realize a lot of people are fucks, a lot are simply ignoring you completely, and some will go far out of their way to help. It helps you be a better person. Being in a physical fight with another person. Best to do it while you are young. There are much less consequences. It is always scary, but it will help you understand how to handle confrontation better in the future. You will see it never happens like it does in the movies. I am legitimately unsure if I am capable of fighting a human. Doing LSD or shrooms in a safe, friendly environment. Did shrooms once. Ended up in a fight with my wardrobe who I thought was a man trying to stab me to death. Laying a beloved pet to rest. I had to say goodbye to my best friend of 15 years, my yellow Labrador, this past Monday. Worst day of my life. I don't know if I can ever have another dog as they will never measure up to him, and I never want to go through this again. He slept by my bedside every night and every night I would reach down to pet him before going to sleep. Now, he isn't there. Go hug your pets. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.